Welcome to today's vlog. We are so excited. We are going on a date with just hubby and I, and this is our first trip with our electric cars. So this is our official first charging. We found a great charging station that's next to a mall in Target, so we'll let her charge up and we'll go walk around and run some errands. Hubby got some coffee from the hotel and super excited for today. I love these types of trails because the trail is so soft from all the years of the pine needles breaking down.
Yeah, it's super soft.
It's like pumice, or not pumice, bog.
Wait, hummus.
Hummus? Is that what it's called? It's like pumice. The softest substance in the world. Lava rock. Hummus. It's like hummus. Tell me you're a hippie without telling me you're a hippie. You compare soft things to hummus.
The bagel was good, but the hummus took it up. That's why you need like a...
The hummus was too strong?
Yeah, it was delicious, but it couldn't really taste the same because it was just all the time hummus.
Huh. Was it garlic or something?
No, hummus, well, yeah, maybe. The garlic and olive oil. Hummus just has pretty.
Kind of got inspired to make some hummus though.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do like...
Dude, it's a good way to get a lot of olive oil.
Yes, I haven't been getting enough because I'm just spraying it right now.
Well, normally when you make a normal hummus recipe, there's a lot of olive oil in it.
So there was this video of this girl snowboarding, and she had like a GoPro or whatever, and it was like a stick. So she's snowboarding, she's like got the stick out and it's videotaping her, but she's snowboarding, so she's not like looking at the camera. And then she fell, and then she got up and she went down and she got to the bottom. There was a bear chasing her.
I saw that.
I don't know if it was real though.
I know.
Like I question all of it now.
I showed it.
Oh, I showed it to you?
Yeah, look at that.
So like when I'm doing this, I'm like, am I gonna get footage of a fucking mountain lion following me? So after this hike, we ended up heading to Golden and having lunch at this awesome salad and bowls place. And then later that night, we went to a Star Wars burlesque show, which was amazing. It was so hilarious. But I wasn't able to record. They don't allow you to record in there, but it was so much fun. And we also, the next night, went to Meow Wolf. They had a comedy show where the comedian's a surprise. You don't know ahead of time, so you just kind of go there, and they have 4 or 5 comedians that come up and perform, and it was such a blast. It was so nice to get away for a little bit with hubby and just chill and do some adult activities.
Good morning. So this morning I'm just getting my head together and getting ready for work. Today I'm using my Remarkable. It's like a digital notepad. I absolutely love this thing. I've had it for a couple of years now. It's helped me go almost completely paperless. Sometimes I do like to write a list on a piece of paper, just in the mood for it, but I use this for my like daily to-do list type stuff. And when I am mapping out projects and ideas and kind of brain dumps, I'll either do it here or I'll do it in Google Docs. So yeah, so I'm just gonna have some of my matcha, and I'm going to get ready for today. This past weekend was amazing. Jay and I had our first date, like just the two of us getaway that we've had since our daughter came home from Thailand, and it was so good. We went to a burlesque show and we went to a comedy show at Meow Wolf. I don't know if you've ever heard of Meow Wolf, but if you have one in a city near you, you should go check it out. But they did a comedy show where the comedian was a complete surprise. So there was like 4 different comedians and we didn't know who any of them were. And they were all pretty well-known comedians, and so it was just a surprise. It was just really fun. And then the burlesque show was Star Wars strips, so it was all Star Wars themed, and it was brilliant. It was so funny and tasteful and beautiful, and honestly very inspiring for the exercising that I'm doing now. Those dancers were just inspiring. It was absolutely beautiful. So anyways, and then we went hiking and had a lot of amazing plant-based food. I wanted to vlog it, but honestly, I'm still getting used to vlogging in public. it still feels kind of weird. Like here, talking to you in my home and doing these types of things is super easy. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll get better at it. It's funny, like my husband and I will be in a conversation, I'll be doing something, I'm like, oh, I should be vlogging this. This is really funny. Or that was a hilarious conversation we just had, or whatever. So after the fact, I'm always like, that would have been really funny. I would have loved to share that with you. Anyways, I'll get better at it. So today, I actually think I'm gonna be doing vlog editing, get my first videos out. This is probably part of my third or fourth video. I have just been testing and just shooting and telling myself and deciding, okay, I'll edit this and publish it. If not, it's just practice. So, but I wanted to share a little bit today about kind of why I started a vlog. So there's a lot of different reasons. The first is I have been creating YouTube and content, all kinds of content for the last 15 years. And all of my videos have been very educational and very how-to. So my businesses, I specialize in natural fertility. I'm a herbalist, nutritionist, a natural fertility specialist, and I've been doing that business 16 years, something like that. So I have hundreds and hundreds of videos, but they're all very how-to. They're like 6 steps to how to use this herb for. And I really love that kind of content, but it doesn't leave much room for creativity and for expressing other interests. And I have a lot of other interests in health, in business, in relationships, just in life. So I wanted to start this vlog channel for that. The other reason is a creative outlet. I wanted to learn more about editing and videography and storytelling. And then the third reason was I was on YouTube and I enjoy watching people's vlogs, but I was noticing, I'm like, these vlogs are cool, but I was always skipping through the parts where people were going out clubbing because most of the people whose vlogs I was following were in their 20s. And there was many aspects of their life that I found interesting, and they're fun and their personalities are adorable. But I'm like, there is like no one vlogging in their 40s. And we know we have different lives and different interests and things we do with our time. I have a family, so a lot of my time goes towards that. And I have a marriage. We've been married 20 something years. I have a funny memory with years, but I think we've been married 21 years, 22, 23 years. I think we've been married 23 years, also my husband, and together much longer than that. So life's a little bit different, and what I share is a little bit different. Also, I like to kind of share the entrepreneurial sides of things. We also own a candy business, candy factory. All of our candy is made from 100% honey, and that's been an interesting journey. And then we are also completely changing locations. We have an organic farm here we've had for 6 years now, and we're actually going to be selling that with our home. We have a property here that has, the farm is here with our home. So we're getting ready to sell that and relocate. So that's a huge life change for us, especially our son who's been here his whole life. So that's why I wanted to vlog. I wanted to also just have these videos and document this time of my life while my kids are, the ages that they are. And there's a lot of different things that I'm up to and doing that I find really interesting, and maybe you will too. So that's why I'm sharing, and that's about it. All right, so I'm gonna go get ahead and get started with my work day since hubby took the kids to school. So I'm gonna take advantage of this time and get going. I gotta show you. I'm not like gonna report the weather to you every single time I do a vlog, but this shit's just crazy. So I kind of have to show you. It snowed a foot last night. It is April 16th. It is going to be my 43rd birthday in a few days. And it freaking snowed last night and electricity went out. I bet where you are, there is flowers blooming. This is part of why we're moving. I'm not complaining. This is amazing. I know it's a lot of people's dreams, but I need some motherfucking sunshine and fruit. Okay, let's get to work. So I have this, electricity turned out, so I gotta restart my computer. I recently just got this Fitbit. It's a Charge 6 Fitbit. I freaking love this thing. So one of my goals is to get 10,000 steps a day currently. And so I do 10,000 steps on my walking desk. That takes me about 1 to 2 hours, how much I stop. And so this tracks it. This also tracks like your sleep. Those are the two main things that I've used it for. It tracks calories, but I don't know how accurate it is because it says I burn 2,000, 2,300 calories a day, but I'm eating around 1,500 right now and my weight's staying the same. So not quite sure if that one's accurate. So anyway, so I use it for the steps and I use it for the sleep tracking. And I bought like kind of a generic one on Amazon, like kind of one of the more knockoff ones. And it was horrible. It did not keep track of the steps properly whatsoever because I tested it. My treadmill does the steps too. So I tested it against that, totally off, like half the amount of steps. So I was like, no, if I'm gonna go through the trouble tracking steps, I want every step that I take to count. What is going on? So I've had this for like, I don't know, 10 years. It's huge. They now have walking pads. It's so cool. They now have walking pads on Amazon for like $200, $300. And you could get a stand-up desk. One of my stand-up desks, like I have an expensive one and I have one, like, I think that was like $800. And the other one I have is $150. So you get a $150 stand-up desk and you get a walking pad for $150. You have a freaking setup. Like this, I don't want to tell you what this cost way back when. This was like a huge deal when they first came out because there wasn't anything like this. And it doesn't matter, but super cool. So that's, I don't sit anymore. Uh-oh. All right, I'm gonna have to restart my computer because it is not. Okay, so if there's, that always works, right? You turn it on and off. It works, I swear. Like anyone will call me, like my husband's like, I'm having this problem with this piece of machinery, this or that. And I'm like, have you turned it on and off? And he turned it on and off and it fixes it every freaking time. It's amazing. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna start my, oh, but the thing is when I do the walking treadmill, because I'm typing, I have to put this in a pocket so that it bounces properly. Because when I'm typing, my hands are resting here and they don't move. So I take this out and I put it, a lot of times I'll just do it like that. So it's like on my hip, or you can just put it in your pocket, but I like to still track my heartbeat, because why not? We all need to know what number our heartbeat is at. There was something else I did want to mention. So you'll mostly see me wearing workout clothing, and this is a new thing. So I don't know if it made it in the other blog or if you even watched the other blog, but I was talking about how exercise and consistency has been one of the biggest challenges that I've kind of experienced my whole life. I'll get really gung-ho, I'll get into something and I'll work out. Like for instance, after I had my baby, 6 months after, because I had gained 50 pounds during my pregnancy, 6 months after, I restarted it again. Right when I was preaching about how restarting fixes it. I don't know. I had power outage last night, so it's acting very strange. So anyway, so after I gained 50 pounds in my pregnancy with my son, afterwards I hired a coach. He's like a really well-known bodybuilding coach. He works with like the top Miss Olympias right now. So anyway, so I was working with him. This is like 9 years ago, mind you, 8 years ago. And it was the first time I was like ripped. I had like abs. I looked unbelievable, but it was also so extremely strict. And I'd been doing it for like 6 months or so. And we went on a trip to Hawaii, like trip of a lifetime, staying a month or so in Hawaii. And I started, kind of going off plan because you're on freaking vacation. So I wish at that point, I see that as one of the pivotal points. If I had just learned how to like, okay, you're on, like, kind of change my plan to like vacation mode where I don't eat like an asshole, but I'm able to enjoy myself and not just like stick to my literal plan of chicken and green beans. Like my plan was like that. It wasn't macros. If you know anything about, that kind of stuff. And it was in the best shape of my life, but it wasn't sustainable for the trip because I was there for a month. It wasn't like a 2-week vacation. Like I couldn't just go crazy. So anyway, so I got off that whole plan. And then there's other times when I've done the hired trainers and I've gotten results, but it's just this consistency because what'll happen is something will come up. So like in that first example, vacation came up, or another example is my husband got surgery and it threw me off track again because I had to take care of him, and like working out takes time. What the fuck? Do I not have internet maybe? Oh yes, here we go. Okay. So something will happen, or I'll catch a cold or whatever, and then I will totally get off of plan. And then I never go back on plan. So this has been really frustrating for me, because like when it comes to like, so like getting back on plan after something happens in the past has been the pattern. And so I'm wanting the new pattern to be like, I've been trying to figure out how can I create sustainable long-term habit of working out, because I went, I just got a new hard drive, and I guess it has like very high security. I need to unplug that when I'm not using it. Okay. I don't want to unplug it right now. It's blinking, I think. All right, third time's charm. So here's been my goal. Okay, there's been like different ways. How can I start working out more? So I started, like what really prompted it was my husband and I would get MRIs yearly for preventative. So these MRIs can look at every organ. They can tell if there's something going on in your colon, your uterus, your brain, your breast, those types of things, right? You're like checking everything for possible signs of basically cancer or other issues. So my MRI last time, nothing, came back perfect. This time it came back, and I have a pre-baby herniating disc in my lower back. And I've always had lower back issues. I would throw my back out just doing stupid shit, like bending over, throw my back out. So it's kind of been, and I had like a kind of a, you know, where your butt kind of sticks out in your back arches. I've always had that. And so once she was like, you know, the doctor was like, you can reverse this, you just need to start exercising. And I was like, okay. So, but even after that, I didn't start exercising. Even with that news of like, if you don't fix this down the road, you're gonna have to have surgery on your spine. Like that didn't get me in action the next day. How messed up is that, right? So I'm like, wow, so this blockage for whatever reason is deeper than, it doesn't, like logic's not even, you know, fixing this shit. Guess I'm cussing on this vlog. So I was trying to find ways, well, what's ways that I can sneak exercise in? So I started researching, there's this whole like non-sitting movement. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's basically where you don't sit in chairs, because chairs are kind of a modern development that's wrecking our bodies. There's studies that have been out that are showing, you know, that sitting, because we sit at our desk so much, it's even worse than smoking. And so I started doing more and more research into it. And I've always had a standing desk and a walking desk, because I've known, you know, it's good to move while you work, especially there's periods of times when I was working a ton, like kind of, I was a workaholic. Now not so much. So I started doing more research, and I was like, wow, so there's people who live furnitureless. This is a whole thing. You can look it up. And I started doing research. I'm like, oh, okay, so a lot of Asian cultures on the floor when they're eating dinner, when they're hanging out with friends, and this makes their bodies healthier, because the act of getting up every time from the ground is its own workout. So that's something I've been doing, is trying to sit less in chairs. It's kind of hard because our house is currently set up for chairs. Like once you're thinking from this place of chairs, they're everywhere. We have like, I think 24 chairs in our house. I counted like the couches, like each seat. And it was like 24 chairs for 4 people is crazy. So with our new house, I've been working on my husband to agree with this. We're gonna have like lower furniture. So like our dining room table will actually be sitting, we'll be sitting on the floor, and we'll have our table, and then like our couch is gonna be really low profile, and half the living room is gonna be floor sitting for me, or for the kids and all that. And it leaves more room for stretching and for playing and these different things. So we're gonna take a totally different approach to designing our new house when we get it. We don't have it yet. And that's part, so that was part of it. That was step one, was like, how can I sneak in exercise into my day? How can I sneak in exercise into my day so that it's something that I don't really have to think about? So that was step one. Step two was getting consistent with this thing. I've been consistent with the walking for a little bit now, so that's pretty cool. And then the other one was I started doing 100 push-ups a day. So every hour I would do 10 push-ups, and that was going great until I threw my neck out. And then I couldn't turn my neck for 3 days. And that's, I think, just because my neck is weak. And I took a break, right? Something came up and I had to stop. So then I got into calisthenics. So I've really been into bodybuilding style working out with lifting weights, and I still really like that. But calisthenics is super cool because it's like you are training your body to function at its best as a body. So being able to eventually do handstands, eventually doing splits, eventually being what the pull-ups are, where you pull up to here and then you push up what they're called, but like eventual goals, right? Like years or year down the road. Found this girl, Summer, her name's Summer, and Summer Fun Fitness, I think is the name of her business and her handles. But she's so crazy strong. And yes, she's younger. I was like, yes, that's awesome. I want to be able to do a freaking handstand push-up eventually. This is kind of how I do it. I get into something and then I start. So, but my key is to like start working out consistently. So what I'm trying now is I'm actually working out every single day so that I get in the habit of just working out. I know you're supposed to take rest days and those types of things, but honestly, I think with calisthenics, I don't know if I need to because it's not as hard on your body as weightlifting. I am still doing some weightlifting because I want to grow the booty and I want to grow the thighs, and calisthenics doesn't really do that as much. So my current plan is I'm going to work out every day. I do have a gym here at home, so it's very easy for me. I think that's key, is making it very accessible and like not having to spend the extra time driving somewhere. So we'll see. That's where I'm at. Just really, at this point, it's extremely like specific and important that I exercise. So I'm going to figure this out. All right, let's get to work. Why do you keep talking so much? Monk fruit, my favorite sweetener, matcha, my favorite matcha. Links down below to my Amazon so you can find the specific products that I use if you want to. Yeti cup, my favorite cup. So I do half a teaspoon. I have twice in the morning. I am currently intermittent fasting still. I eat at 10. I stop eating by 6. I am not sure if I'm going to continue. I might switch to 9 to 6, but I haven't had time to do some more research. I like 6 drops of this monk fruit. If you don't like stevia, try this. This stuff's amazing. I like both, but I definitely eat more of this. They have a big bottle on Amazon. Let me show it to you. I get this big bottle and then I refill this little bottle from it. Such a good product. And it's price is fine. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to this. Don't burn my mouth. But yeah, so I'm currently intermittent fasting. I don't know. There's so many different health benefits to it that I've researched, but it's like a long-term thing to get these benefits. So it's like the studies were done on humans. I know a lot of people say intermittent fasting studies haven't been done on humans. There has been studies on humans. I have my braces in, that's probably why, if I sound funny. And it was showing that after 5 years of intermittent fasting, they gained an extra 3 years onto their life, and a lot of other factors were improved. So I did epigenetic testing a couple of months ago, and my age is 43, but I came back as 23 years old, which is fucking amazing. So it's saying that my cells are functioning, my body's functioning as a 23-year-old, which is incredible. And I have an idea of what it could have been, because there are certain things I have done literally for the last 20 years, almost every single day. And I'll talk about those in another video, but I have to make sure that it's sustainable, intermittent fasting, because you have to do it long term to get the benefits. So I'm just going to continue for right now until I have time to do more research. Okay, so I need to speed up my my camera's going so slow. I love this tea kettle. It's glass. A lot of them are plastic. Not into plastic if I can avoid it. Yes, this is plastic, but it's not cooking in this. So I got this. This is actually an Amazon brand. I will put it in my Amazon storefront if you'd like to shop that. Okay. All right. So now on to finishing up. I'm currently writing an article, 6 hidden benefits of castor oil for women's health. And castor oil is currently just one of my absolute favorite therapies and products that we have. I have a kit called Wound Care Castor Oil Kit. And this makes it really easy to do castor oil without getting messy. You could wear it while you're walking, you could wear it while you're working, whatever, wear it overnight. So writing an article about that, that's to go out. We're getting ready for our next promotion, which will be castor oil. So I have some writing to do. I'm late. I was supposed to have this article done yesterday. Normally I'm weeks ahead, but with our little trip and we had some other things come up, and I'm getting behind. So that's what I'm currently working on and doing my steps.
Halfway through my workout, like after 40-50 minutes, I added 20-pound weighted vest, and I do another 20 minutes with this to make it harder. All right, so it's finally time to eat. At 10 a.m. It's a little bit before 10 a.m. I like to prepare my food. Start preparing it so I can eat at 10 because I'm pretty hungry at this point. So I am so excited to show you. This is my absolute favorite meal, which is protein French toast. So this is vegan, plant-based, and I'll tell you a little bit how I made the batter. I'm not going to do like a batter video right now. Okay, so what you're going to need to make the plant-based French toast is batter. So I make this ahead of time so we can have French toast for 2 or 3 days. And then you're gonna need the bread. I'm using Dave's thin slice. My husband likes to use Ezekiel. I did Ezekiel yesterday and it's okay, but I find this much more enjoyable. And I use a clay nonstick. I've got some of them in my Amazon list link below because I know you're like constantly going to ask like, where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? So I use spray oil, so I don't use very much oil. In here I have avocado oil because it takes very high heat without being damaged. I also like to use olive oil, but not so much for cooking over heat. I use that like on my popcorn and for dressings and stuff. So this is tofu. A block of tofu, high protein, firm tofu blended with some soy milk, some monk fruit, and cinnamon in a blender, and it's very smooth. And then I put 2 slices, that's what I'm gonna have today, in here. Now this isn't gonna be exactly like, it's much thicker than like probably the egg French toast that you're used to. All right, so I'm putting it in the batter. And it's not gonna really soak in, so I kind of coat it. And then I'm gonna put the burner on like medium and then turn it down to low. You need it to cook slow and cook for a little while. So let's see if I can get you a better view. There we go, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I put one side and then I'm gonna flip it. But you want to make sure you kind of gotta, you could probably just add more soy milk and make it thinner. But I like to really get these coated so I'm getting a lot of protein. I try to get most of my protein in my first 2 meals of the day. So my last meal, I don't really have to think much about it. So like last meal, I can just look at, because I am doing my macros right now. I do count, I track my food. I do this periodically to just kind of see where I'm at with different nutrients and my proteins and my fiber, my omegas, all of that. I also find it's very helpful when I start snacking too much it helps me to focus on like complete meals and ways to get more creative. Because if I start snacking, that means I'm getting bored with my current food choices. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit for a second. I'm gonna go grab a lid. Ooh. Okay, so that's getting ready. So I'm gonna put this side, oops, it broke. Okay, I'm gonna put the coated side down and then I'm gonna just kind of like put some of this directly on the bread. It's definitely different than regular French toast, but it tastes better. Just trust me and try it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down to low. Spread this out all over. First day that I make it, it's thinner. So I think because I put flaxseed in it instead of flour, the original recipe calls for flour. So I do flaxseed. I think that's why it gets thicker like this. So that's ready. Can you see that? Coated on thick.
And I'm gonna put the lid on it and let it cook, and then I'm gonna flip it over. So this French toast is so freaking good that I actually think about it the night before, and I'm excited that I'm gonna have it the next day. So I don't know if you've ever done that before. That's happening for me. I am gonna put some plant-based butter spread. This is coconut, and then a little bit of maple syrup. I actually have a maple syrup coming that is fake maple syrup, but it's like with good ingredients with natural flavorings. Because when I do straight sugar like this, sometimes it affects my blood sugar. I used to have hypoglycemia. I don't now that I'm plant-based, but it can still happen if I eat too much concentrated sugar. Like I can't eat traditional ice cream. I can eat plant-based ice cream for some reason. I don't know. Like if I just had dairy ice cream, I would be so sick I would have to go lay down. So I try to stay away from, like I can do honey just fine, which is funny, but the maple syrup, I think, because it's a liquid that you're pouring on. So anyways, let's look at what we're doing over here. All right, now I'm gonna leave the lid off so that moisture comes out and it starts cooking more. But I still have it on low so I can cook all this. Just trust me. I know this looks weird. You're like, it's freaking bubbling. It looks soupy. Just trust the process. If you are looking for tasty ass, healthy-ish, mostly healthy, like 98% healthy French toast so this French toast, let me get my macros okay, so I use Chronometer, and so we'll put my breakfast in today. Okay, so 1 serving, so 2, just the batter is gonna have 18 grams of protein, and then I'm gonna add the bread. This app can just scan barcodes. This is super cool. So I have a barcode, and then it just has the food, and I put 2 slices in. I'm not saying anyone else needs to do this. I just find this really interesting, and I geek out on this kind of stuff. It makes me happy. If tracking your food gives you anxiety or feels obsessive or whatever, if you have your relationship with food is not healthy, all of this is just me sharing what I like to do, and this actually makes me happy because nutrition I'm a nutrition geek. All right, there you go. All right, so that's what I have so far, and then I'll add the syrup. Whoa, that's way too close. Sorry about that. I will add the maple syrup and the coconut butter in just a minute. So far, just that meal, 22 grams of protein. That's pretty cool. So I have a handyman coming over today. Look at those mangoes. Amazing. Because we're constantly working on the house. We painted our bedroom and our bathroom this past weekend while we were out of town. It looks so different, looks so good. Just getting the house ready. There was 2 other houses that sold that are kind of in our price range. If you've ever sold a house before, you'll get specs or whatever sent from your realtor so that they kind of know where they're going to price your house and how long things are going to take to sell. And like they're selling fast, like 22 days, and I think the other one was like 72 days. So anything within 3 months for the size of our property, I'm so excited and grateful for. So fingers crossed. She's been sending us stuff like that. Looks really freaking good and exciting. So okay, so this is what it's starting to look like. It's done. They don't look great, but it does not matter because they taste freaking phenomenal. Okay, so I'm gonna put my...
Go that way.
I feel supercharged.
Maca root is traditionally grown in the Andes of Peru and is renowned for its ability to enhance fertility and
Okay, how do I stop it? Just do that.
this.
Oh.